seen him speak before, and I became entranced with what he had to say and what he shared with that audience, and I think you will be the very same way.
So here's our number one finding after 24 plus years. It's getting harder to recruit, manage, and retain the best people. Yes, we've done 24 years of research to come up with that. I know some of you are thinking, hey pal, you could have just called me. And if you're in this room and I've interviewed you, I promise not to reveal your identity. For me, what's more interesting is why is it getting so much harder to manage people, and why is it getting so much harder to bring in the best, to drive what we call discretionary performance, and to retain the best. You say, I don't have enough time. The one thing I don't have is time. So I will tell you, you don't have enough time to not make sure your firm has a culture of strong, highly engaged leadership. Remember the costs when leaders are not managing upfront in advance, guiding, directing, supporting, and coaching, spelling out expectations, and keeping track. Problems occur that didn't have to occur. Problems get out of control that could have been solved easily. Resources are squandered. People go in the wrong direction for days, weeks, or months without realizing it. Low performers hide out and collect paychecks. Mediocre performers mistake themselves for high performers. High performers become the most likely to leave, and leaders end up doing tasks that should have been delegated to someone else. You don't have time not to do this.
I've given thousands of speeches to hundreds of thousands of people since 1995. My goal is to make my presentations one part insight, one part information, and one part entertainment.
What most leaders tell us is, I go talk to my people and say, hey, listen, we need you to do more, better, faster. And they're like, oh, yeah, well, thanks for coming over here to talk to me. There's a few things I've been wanting to talk to you about. I don't think I can work on Thursdays anymore.
When managers start to hear the best practices that we've identified in our research, they start nodding their heads because they can hear that, yeah, this I can do, this is going to work for me.
You know, Gen Xers like to be left alone. So the millennials come in and nobody's ever left them alone for a minute. Right? So they show up on day one and they're like, I'm here! And Gen Xers are like, yeah, you know, figure it out, kids, sink or swim, reinvent the wheel, leave me alone, nobody held my hand. The day-to-day supervision should be intense, dynamic, and highly engaged. The most pernicious myth is that what works with young people is weak management. Nobody needs a weak leader. And anybody who wants a weak leader, you hire the wrong person. The self-starting high performers, what they want is a manager who knows who they are, knows what they're doing, is in a position to set them up for success, is in a position to teach, help them do more, better, faster, help them avoid unnecessary problems, help them earn more. That's what the self-starting high performers are looking for. But see, this puts a lot of pressure on managers, especially new managers.
Most senior executives know from their experience and they know from their gut that strong, highly engaged leadership is what works. And there are a lot of so-called experts out there selling easy solutions. And hands-off is easy, but it's too easy and it doesn't work. So I think when I start talking about strong, highly engaged leadership, senior executives take notice and they want their managers at all levels to hear this message.